That's the guy's name who you want to show up on the contract.
Yeah, of course. You're guaranteed, what, $2 to $3 million at this point? Like, that's like almost unheard of money in this sport. It's great. And yeah, man, I'll fight Conor. Where you at? I'm the real money fight, Conor. I'm the real money fight. Do Irish firm and everything, whatever, dude.
I love it, man. Hey, if they put that in Hawaii, you'll have your share of fans. If you've got people coming all the way out here to Portland to support you to fight, everybody's been wanting the UFC to go to Hawaii for a long time, and now with yourself, with Max, of course, with the young lady, the Hawaiian fighter who I know extremely well, Curran. Sorry about that, Mister. But they want Hawaii. You got BJ Penn, who I left off the list. I mean, you guys could really do some numbers in Hawaii. What's taking so long?
I'm not really sure, man. I have no idea. We need to get that event going. Hopefully we could maybe get 2 belts out there, because you know how Hawaii has just like, it has such a rich fighting history. Like, I wouldn't want to go out there for the first fight and do like a little fight night card. I would want to do something huge, you know, like maybe 1-2 belts go down, you know, big names come out, like and everyone fight, and maybe, you know, some of the old legends return and whatever. But I would love for it to be like a humongous deal, you know.
Now, speaking of Max Holloway, a fellow Hawaiian fighter, have you ever trained with him? You been in the room with Max?
Yeah, I've worked with him a lot, dude. The kid is amazing.
He's a tough son of a bitch right there.
I think he's the best 45er in the world right now. I really believe that. Like, you ask him to break down like a striking exchange or whatever, and he's taking so many variables into account. It's crazy. He's like a computer, man. Like, he blew my mind the first time he like broke down one of our exchanges. I was like, how are you? What? Like, it was crazy.
Yeah. Now, do you train out of Hawaii, or you're just from Hawaii?
I train out of Hawaii. I train out of Hawaii Elite MMA.
Okay. And who are your teammates and coach? Who do you got out there with you?
We have Russell Doan, we have Loan Tainanez, we have Martin Day, we have and my head coach is Charles Kipili'i. We recently brought on a wrestling coach, Rob Hessia, and he's been working with us a lot. I know he does other things on his own too, but he's just been helping us out here and there. We have like a bunch of guys up and coming that we're just starting to try to groom and stuff. We have this other kid, Chaz Dunhauer. He's a stud too, man. That little kid. He hasn't made his pro debut yet, but when he does, he's going to come out and smash.
He's an up-and-comer.
Yeah, he's going to come out and smash people.
So let's go back to the press conference. The big news came out. Conor versus Eddie Alvarez. How do you see that fight?
Probably Conor. He's actually bigger than Alvarez. Like, I'm going to take Conor just because I think he's huge for 45. He's pretty big for 55 too. He's actually bigger than Alvarez. So, and his entire game is when he has the range, when he's able to hit you from farther away than you can hit him. He seems pretty dominant.
He's good. Yeah, I mean, it's all the speculation and rumors of, is this guy just talk or is he the real deal? He is the real deal. Conor McGregor knows how to fight.
Yeah, definitely. He's a bad guy.
So when you look at him versus Eddie, though, it's very interesting because Eddie is lightning fast. Eddie doesn't get tired. Eddie's got a ton of experience. I mean, Eddie's the world champion. There's no way around that. Conor, also the world champion. There's no way around that. What Eddie keeps talking about, though, is that if push comes to shove, he could take Conor down and beat him up, and there's nothing Conor could do about it. Eddie keeps saying that. The only problem with that, tell me where I'm wrong, the only problem with that, though, is Eddie, and he is a great wrestler. He's got a whole toolbox of wrestling. Lewis, I've never seen him use it. I've been with Eddie Alvarez from back in the day. You were probably in high school. There used to be an organization called Bodog. It was great.
Oh, I remember that.
Eddie and I had so much fun. We traveled all over. I mean, we were doing shows in Russia. We were doing shows in Costa Rica. We were doing shows in Canada. I got to know Eddie really well, though. He was always bragging about his wrestling. I know his wrestling coaches. They all brag about his wrestling. Lewis, I've never seen him use wrestling in a fight. I mean, he just used his hands to beat RDA in a big upset and to grab the title. So does Eddie reach into the well, if you will, and bring out the wrestling against Conor? Because it's what he says he's going to do.
Well, I mean, I don't know. He might be just trying to throw Conor off because, you know, you fake the shot and then Conor's really expecting it. Now he's going to throw the overhand. It could be all mind games. He might actually do it, but I'd expect him to go for that later as opposed to earlier. You know what I'm saying? Like that I feel like wrestling for Eddie would be more of a late round key, not really like something early, because when it's early and Conor's fresh and stuff, he'll be able to gauge the distance well. But if it goes into the later rounds, I definitely see him pulling out some wrestling tricks.
So take Nurmagomedov, by example, who arguably is the best fighter in the world. I mean, at your weight class, at 135, at 45, at 50, it's an argument. Somebody has the belt, but there's always an argument. You know, you guys are so good, it's so deep. I always argue there's 10 John Joneses in those weight classes. You know, that's where the real athletes and the talent are. But the point that I'm getting at, when you take Nurmagomedov, who is arguably the best, I mean, he beat RDA, he's ran over everybody. What happens with him? I was told that he was getting the fight with Eddie. I think Dana is the one that said that, and then all of a sudden it gets revealed, no, it's going to be Conor. So if you're in Khabib Nurmagomedov's shoes, imagine you are for a second. Are you pissed? Or are you in on the gimmick and you're like, whatever, I'll fight anybody? Or are you mad and go, wait a minute, I read this on ESPN, I thought it was real, I got excited, I thought it was my red panty night, and all of a sudden it's gone. What happens?
If I was him, I would stay ready and try to scoop in there like late notice or something, you know what I mean? Because you never know in this sport, it changes so fast. I mean, he has so many options. He could arguably fight Cerrone. He's got Ferguson. I know him and Ferguson have been supposed to fight for probably like a year and a half now. But I don't know, man. For Khabib, he's a specialist, and he wants to fight someone he can grapple all the time, you know? So, I'm not really sure what he wants to do, but if I was him, I would just stay ready, you know? I would just stay ready for Conor and try to fight him.
I appreciate you saying that, because you might not know this, but I'm a little older than you, all right? I'm a little bit more of a veteran of this sport than you.
You look very young.
Thank you. I look a lot younger than I am, but I look a lot. Yeah, I think I said that right. But here's my point. Particularly when I was coming up, you know, it was different. And we had the mindset like the one that you just shared, which is, who cares who your opponent is? Stay ready. Opportunities come. Do your part. Be in the gym. Be willing. And good things will happen. But as a fan, now that I sit back as a fan, I do get frustrated with some of the younger guys that are all about the, you know, give me the opportunity, give me this, and I deserve that, and I'm entitled.
You're not entitled to anything. You're not even given a chance. Like you're like, okay, give me a chance. It's like you have to earn your chance, man. You're asking for chances. That's ridiculous to me, honestly. Like, I mean, there's no reason why you should be given anything. Was I given 125? No, I have to cut 25, 30 pounds to make this weight. Like, that's not by accident. I did this because I wanted to get into the UFC, so I cut 25 or 30 pounds, and I got into the weight class where they needed fighters.
And guys seem to forget that. Everybody that's hungry and wants their break into the big time, once they finally get there, man, they get this new attitude on them. They actually become a bit of a dick. Sometimes it's hard. I'm rooting for these guys, and I want good things to happen for them. Then I go read some of these interviews, and I go, well, when did you become an entitled jerk, man? This is a real rare opportunity that so many guys are hungry for, including the guys that are now complaining. They were hungry for it at one point, and then they forgot. They forgot over time, and now they're all mad about everything. What are they mad about? They got to where they wanted to be. I get the greed. I get the excitement. I get trying to get higher on the card. I support all of those things. But when do you turn on the business and act like it owes you something?
I don't know, man. It's a new generation that we live in. Everybody's just asking for more. I mean, I can understand that everybody wants more. You know, everybody wants more money. You're not going to get money if you don't ask for it. But at a point, you do have to earn it, too. Like, we're not just, like, handing out checks here. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Dana White's not giving you a bonus for nothing. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, I don't know. I firmly, like, I was inspired by your guys' generation a lot of the go out there and earn it, go out there and get it, you know, go out there and put on that exciting fight, look for the finish. And, you know, that's what I try to, you know, model my style after. That's what I firmly believe in. Yeah, well, and you're right. Good things happen to guys that follow that theory. You know, and that just stay after the grind. But I am wondering about Khabib, you know, because Khabib has been a number one contender. His record's something ridiculous, man. He's like 22-0 or 23-0. And I did feel for him a little bit when the fight was announced, but then the carpet got pulled out. Now, he's still on the card. He's fighting Michael Johnson. So to your point, he needs to stay ready. If something happens, obviously they're going to break up that Johnson-Khabib fight, and one of them is going to slide in. But I thought, ooh, that might have been a blow to Khabib to find out, hey, I've got the world title opportunity. Forget the money. Set the money aside real quick. The world title opportunity. And then all of a sudden it was gone. Yeah. I can understand that. Yeah, I would be upset